welcome to my video cast of my documentation of my final major project. I decided to do this because I think it'd be easier for you to see what's going on in my head and what I'm producing and my objectives and aims and what I've accomplished. I plan to do this twice a week, bi-weekly, at the start of the week with my objectives and at the end of the week with what I've accomplished and obviously new problems that I'm going to have to take care of. So here we go. It's for LCC on my final in the FDA second year, and I've chosen the format of maps to do. And what I find interesting mostly about maps, and I have thought long and hard about it, is the information, and mapping something that hasn't been mapped before is probably the route to go. So with my map I've decided that it should be a aesthetic vessel for participants to mark their own information inside the map, because that's what's interesting. It's not about my map, it's about the spatial markers that people leave and the connections between them, and processing and collecting data to then maybe influence another project. So what I need to do with my vessel, the map, is to ask a series of questions for every participant. I'm going down the line of asking questions to do with people's past, present and future, as I think mapping that sort of time that you can't really show aesthetically or physically, and making connections between that would be a very interesting thing to produce. So yes, I have to ask a question to people about their past, present and future, and then for them to mark that on my map somehow. I'm thinking at the moment with a projector, and they could just digitally move the map, the marker rather, onto the map, and the map would be a physical thing placed on the wall, and they'd put their marker over the top, and then at the end I could move my map and all you'd have is the markers without the relation of what they mean. Also, if I did do it digitally, that means that I could have a dialogue box pop up from the marker explaining the question and answer, and maybe even details of the person, depending. So yeah, it's a challenge, logistically, aesthetically and conceptually, but I think if I make it easy enough for people to take part, then it will be very interesting, and it will have a longer lifespan than just this exhibition. So my objectives this week, as it's Monday and I have 4 weeks left, so there'll be 8 of these video casts. My objectives is to start my VCT, which will be fun, 2,000 word essay, and hopefully that will influence my approach to producing this piece for the end of year exhibition. So VCT, and then we have the questions for the map, and they have to be quite revealing about the person, and quite personal, and interesting would be good. So I'm going to write a series of questions, hopefully this week, and you'll hear about them when I do my another podcast at the end of the week. Just rambling on now. What else do I have to do? Questions, VCT, probably to do a prototype of this idea and get some documentation and feedback and analysis and criticism, more importantly, from students, teachers, anybody that wants to take part, because it needs to be refined, and I only have 4 weeks. So that is my list of things to do this week. Hopefully I won't have any hiccups or problems, and you'll have a happy Joe at the end of the week explaining how well he's done. Or you'll see me crying and being very frustrated. Either way, I'll see you soon.